When I look back at all the years of my career as the world's greatest paranormal investigator, it seems as though I spent a lot of the time with both feet off the ground, leaping, falling, sometimes being picked up and hurled. I've gotten used to it, but this is different. I was pulled down through the floor of the old Cavendish mansion, and now it seems like that was 2 hours ago, days ago. I hit water, and the piece of my brain still working tells me that I haven't fallen nearly as far as I seemed. The house sits on a shallow spit of land, sticking out into the lake. It's almost as the same level as the water. The lake is only a few dozen feet above sea level, and since no water can be lower than sea level, this big, cold pool can't be more than 50 or 60 feet below the house. As all this runs through my head, I can almost hear Liz shitting me. "Come on, Mr. Wizard," she'd say. "There's work to be done," but I don't really hear her. Liz is gone, snatched from her room by some unknown force. The same force that pulled me down here. Feels bad down here. All over my body, coarse black little hairs rise and whistle at the touch of evil. And then I hear the voice, the familiar voice. "What you feel, creature, is the long and bloody history of this place. Open your small mind to it. Can you hear the screams of the fetal sacrifice? Can you smell the hot blood on the cold stones?" As Hellboy lands, looking around him, whipping out his gun, as it looks like some sort of Aztec structure. 800 years ago, men still worshipped the serpent and sought to appease him with the blood of innocents. Fools! The serpent cares not for the blood of men. He craves one thing, and that is freedom. And then the man shows his face. It is the same man who cast the tentacle monster on Hellboy. 8 centuries ago, mortals lacked the power to free the beast, but now that power exists. Here, in me, he says. Look around you, creature. Fear and wonder at what you see. The serpent, the Orugu Jahad, the 7 beasts, they spoke to men in this place, whispers and dreams, and they speak to me. Do tell, says Hellboy. 50 years ago, you were brought here across this world for a reason, creature. You were called to stand beside me at Ragnarok, to command the power I shall release upon the world. Here is your purpose. Here is your destiny. All paths, said Hellboy. You do not understand, creature. By those words I do not offer. By those words I command. I don't think so, Hellboy says as he whips out his pistol. Hey, fall down, man. The torture Liberty said I was the worst shot he ever had tried to train. But I know when I've hit something, and I hit you. How come you're still standing, Hellboy says. The man then says something in a language that cannot be understood as he starts healing. He doesn't utter much as a squeak, but the air rings like some sort of great frozen bell. And I feel for all the world like someone just swatted me with a submarine. I hit hard enough to knock the wind out of me. Never again raise a hand to me, creature. I conjure you into this world, and I can wipe you from it, says the crazy man. I'm believing him. I've been a paranormal investigator for 40 years now. I've seen a lot of things, learned a lot of things. The pockets of old code are full of charms and talismans I collected from the 4 corners of the world. By rights, any one of them should have protected me from just about anything. But he neutralized all of them somehow, or worse, he's just too powerful for them to work against them. Until I know how, I decide to stall things for a bit. Nice try putting your head back together, says Hellboy. You're not the first one to have tried to destroy me, creature. 80 years ago in Mother Russia, at the palace of Prince Yosavurup, I was poisoned, shot, hurled into the frozen Neva. But in those icy waters, the serpent called me. He bade me rise, bade me fulfill my purpose. And in visions of a world transformed by the Holocaust and fire, he showed me what was my purpose. It is my destiny to preside over the fall of humankind. And you're offering me what? A chance to be your junior partner in this little fun fest? Thanks, but I have other plans for the apocalypse. Fool. Still, you cannot understand that This is no choice I offer you. What the Hellboy says as he suddenly teleports behind. I'm not surprised you do not recognize the creature. He's much changed, even in the short time since you last met. The power of the Dragon King grows in him with the thunderous beat of his heart. And him, the ancient seed bear fruit. He shall stand among men as the first of a new race, a new breed of Titans. Of Sven Olsen, of frozen flesh, there is no more. With the 3 cavernous brothers, I will confess I had considered their success. Transformed they were as Olsen has been, but in their hearts, a flicker of their human frailties remain. Having slain their mother, they have gone, fled into the darkness to wallow in the dry dust of their generosity. I was uneasy the moment I came into this place. The more my eyes become accustomed to the gloom, the more I see the sicklet was not without case. This is a place for the dead, says Abe, but it is not a quiet place. The unmistakable impression is that something has been rooting around in these remains. Abe looks around and sees a bunch of skeletons in a statue, and there he sees on a cemetery, and if God chose, I shall but love thee better after death. And a frog stands there menacing. And here perhaps I found the culprit. The place of death is not entirely without life, as some people are just standing in the middle of a lake with a bunch of stairs leading up to the land. But what sort of life? And then people turn around, believing them to be giant frog creatures, the same ones that fought Hellboy and killed his father figure. I sense a kinship with these strange amphibians, but not enough that it keeps me from taking 3 cautious steps backwards, away from the silvery rings that ripple from out the spot they were under. Fearful to take my eyes from the water, I probe behind me with an outstretched hand, and rotten wood reveals itself too weak to tolerate even my gentle touch. Darkness gives way to greater shadow as he keeps on exploring, but one of these shadows has a shape, and I think I have a name. Eluhu Cavendish, as someone like Eluhu stands there with a rifle in his hands. The old wizard wasn't kidding, says Hellboy. The fiend that used to be Sven Olsen is about as tough as anything I've come across, as he punches the creature right across its face as they fight in the lake. A piece of me wants to think that maybe, because I know this is all that remains of a man, maybe an innocent man, so maybe I'm holding back a bit. Maybe, but probably not, says Hellboy, as then suddenly the frog creature hits him with his own punch, drawing blood from Hellboy. I feel myself starting to get angry. Good. I accomplish more that way. Or maybe this time I don't, as the creature knocks him away. The part of my brain that's still working on something like a rational level tells me I'm going to have to find a way to halt this praxis pretty soon, even if it's just a short halt. Need time to catch my wind before Froggy reaches down my throat and pulls my lungs out. Froggy has no intention of giving me the space I need, as suddenly the frog creature launches them deeper into the lake. I cling to the small hope he's operating solely on some kind of amphibious adrenaline. He doesn't have a really clear idea of how just close he is to winning. And then Hellboy suddenly gets knocked out the water, and the frog creature emerges after him and slams him all over the place. Some hope. Enough, Olsen. We do not need the creature dead. It would be little use that way. Ugh, yes, says the crazy man. Do you have something to say? Who? Ow, says Hellboy weakly, lying in the puddle of water. Yes, perhaps it is time I told you more about myself. Following this exaggerated report of my death, I left the blessed soil of Russia. I knew a town in Italy, small, a place I could rest, a place I could regather power. For more than 20 years I lived in isolation, on occasion to those brave souls who approached me, telling of the coming of Ragnarok, new age of the serpent, speaking as the prophet as the apocalypse, but mostly wrapped in silence as I listened for the voices that had spoken to me under the river, listened and heard nothing. I waited instead for some other sort of communication, some sign. A sign that had came at last in the form of a small and cringing human. His name was Himmler, and he came to hire me. Take me to that land which the ancient enemy of my beloved Russia, to take me to Germany. There I was introduced to a doomed madman. A madman in whose doom I saw a chance to harness unlimited resources. I permitted myself to join these puny minds that the Reich had assembled for itself, believing them unequaled in the world, unequaled in the talents for creating mass weapons of destruction. They were fools compared to me, but I saw in the rough gems I might shape and polish. Crude their thoughts and minds might be, but also utterly untarnished by the limitations of consciousness and morality. I worked closely with the three I deemed the most rational among them. I guided them, so that in time they thought they had themselves convinced that project they named Ragnarok, had themselves imagined the construction of the Ragnarok engine. Behind their backs I laughed at their ridiculous conceits. No human mind could have conceived such a wondrous device, and no mere human could even contain the forces which the engine would summon, magnify, and direct into me, so that I might become the key by which the beast would be at last released from the primeval prison. As the 1,000-year-old Reich burned down into the ground to its last bitter, bloody days, the project neared its culmination. Astrology guided me to the place, numerology guided me to time. There was no means by which the result of the experiment was accurately predicted. The nonsense that I failed. I knew better. I did not know precisely what to do, but I knew something had been done, conjured from the worlds beyond. You. But before I could press my investigation further, the tide of war turned irreversibly. Germany was destroyed, Hitler and the rest were dead. As triumphant foreign armies marched over the ashes of the fatherland, my brave associations fled to prearranged hiding places. I was alone, and for the first time, I wasn't sure. And it was then as my momentary weakness had somehow rekindled them that I heard once more the long silent voices. They spoke, and they bade me to go. They bade me to go north to the Atlantic ways, the Arctic ways, to the very top of the world. With a handful of paid companions, I marched upon the broad shoulder of the world, north and ever north. Those who marched with me had no interest in my mission. They only came back for the goal I promised. Their souls were small, but sufficient enough to sustain me. It was alone that I arrived at my destination. It was my eyes alone which looked upon the fabled land of Orduguru Jahad, built uncounted eons by the past by the first race of man, and with its frozen walls something older still for the temple that was built to contain it. The Sadhu Ham left by the Orduguru Jahad, that they might have always had a foothold in the world from which they were forever banished, hidden from the eyes of God, dead and fossilized. To another it would seem like a grotesque statue, but not to me. I felt it's mine, alive and waiting. Seating myself at the foot of the living statue, I set my body into trance, that my mind might reach out to the shadow of life deep within its stony portals. Though the ancient slumber I penetrated, and saw as if the Sadhuham's own eyes devoid, and the imprisoned forms of the 7 V's, which were Adha Jahad, Nun Jahad, Ara Jahad, Belul Jahad, Nagar Jahad, Amang Jahad, and Namarat Jahad, were wraps. They were in dreams and darkness, and it was in that silent state I joined them. So long years passed, timeless, eternal, seeming as a moment, seeming as a century, until the touch of a human had awakened me. The hand of the man named Trevor Gudenholm, and in the instant of our contact I saw all there was to see within his frail mortal mind. I saw your creature. and knew you called this man your father. And then giant tentacles appear, and then in the next scene they are covered with blood. After his long sleep, Saduhem was hungry, but I bade him spare these mortals for a while. I saw them in greater use as new disciples to my plan than his quick respite of hunger to an ancient god name. You will appreciate how important my plan is when I tell you Saduham agreed. He let humans live to be vessels for the seed of the great serpent, but they were not enough. With the power that had grown inside me during my stillness, I reached out. I sought out my mind to the other humans, the base camp. I had seen the memories of Brudenholm. I touched the others, and I summoned them to me. I needed them, you see, as slave labor, to lift and bear Saduhams across the ice. Once he was within that metal room, I left him in that last on the members of the expedition, all save Brudenholm, whom I allowed to escape once we reached New York. I knew his first conscious action would be to contact you, Helper. In the meantime, I waited while the power within me grew and strengthened. At last, my patience was doubly rewarded. You arrived, and then came an unanticipated bonus, an extra source of power which I will now expunge. All further delay. The time of Ragnarok is here. Liz! As it is revealed that Liz is still alive, unconscious though. Let her alone, wizard. She has no connection to me, to where I came from, how I got here. True, and you may put your small mind at rest, creature. I have no intention of harming her. More damage was done, in fact, by the ham-handled doctors and so-called scientists who have probed her over years. And yet, with all the fools came, not much as one step closer to understanding the nature of her gift. Her power is a living thing, creature, every bit as much as alive as you or I. And as a living creature needs room to breathe, room to grow. That room I shall now provide, and in doing so harness the power to my purpose. But I see that time has come to an end. This pleasant little chat. Saduhazam is much improved from his former condition. He has won well on the flesh of men in every port from here to the Arctic Circle. He has sucked the life from the waters of the ancient lake. He has grown strong as it shows some giant creature hovering above all the others. It's very octopusish. Now as I add the power that is determined to my own, as soon as I open myself as a conduit to the naked force she carries within her soul, as I funnel this power in mine into the realms beyond, into the void, shatter the prisons, wake the prisoners, call them back to the world which spawned them. As power increases to grow in the lake, I offer you one last choice to join me of your own free will, creature, to taste the power undreamed that sleeps within you to fulfill your purpose. Go to hell, says Hellboy, bleeding out of his mouth. No need, creature. Hell is coming here. Know with unshakable clarity that I need help and I am in trouble. And I wonder where Abe is, as a man who looks like Elihu Cavendish stands over him with a harpoon gun in his hand, while Abe stands on the ground, motionless.